and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are not getting the results you are looking for from your digital marketing efforts, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy, and welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, everyone. I hope you guys are having a rockin' week thus far. Today, I have a treat for you because, as you guys know, I always talk about Google AdWords. I always talk about lead generation on Google, even Bing. I talk about lead gen because that's where it's at. How do you build businesses? You talk about lead gen. That you talk about leads. You need leads for business, and there's no other better place to do it on than Google. Now, the problem is it can be expensive, and I've always told you that it doesn't have to be. So, to keep me honest, I brought on a good friend of mine named Scott Sanderson, just to so I don't want you guys to just hear me say it all the time. I want someone else to prove it to you. And if I think you listen to him, more than you listen to me. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Scott Sanderson. Scott, how's it going? And welcome to the show.
Hey, Frank, pleasure being here. Love what you're doing. Love the cause. We all want to help small business beat Walmart and Amazon when we can. And I appreciate that. So yeah, hopefully I can create some interesting awareness.
Yep. That's what we're here for. All right. So just a quick question for you. I mean, we both are on the same page when it comes to Google Ads. It doesn't have to be so expensive, and you can actually get, how do we help the small businesses with small budgets? What's the best way of doing that?
Well, there's an interesting thing that's happening in the market, and that's software getting in the middle of an ad campaign and Google's role. Now, Google wants to make money, and the more they can get you to pay for a word, they make. They're selling words. It's a great business. It's why they're one of the biggest, fastest growing companies in the world. And they don't even set the price. It's an auction. Right. So you have two pizza guys battling it out for the word pizza. And all of a sudden it goes from $4 to $5 to $6, and it just keeps going. And in Google's mind, they think that a $6 lead, because of the lifetime value of a new customer for pizza, is still a deal. And so they look at it and say, A, I'm not the price setter. And B, you were paying a whole lot more than you paid us when you were buying ads in the yellow pages. So what's the problem? And I think the problem, you are a small budget business, you need every dollar to count. And you just can't overspend on words, what we call head words. Our head word would be pizza, right? And you're competing with Domino's, and you're competing with Caesars, and you're competing with all these places that are saying, I have unlimited budgets and I'll just grind you down, right? Where are you? But what you can do is compete with what they call the long tail of keywords. Mm-hmm. So it might be pepperoni pizza, Northwest Philly. That would be an ad buy, right? The word pizza might cost $5, but then pepperoni pizza Northwest Philly might cost you 85 cents. And so what software is now able to do, because the problem is people can't manage thousands and thousands of words. It's too time consuming. You have to adjust the bids on each of them, create these words, tell them that's exact match. It's very, very, very technical. And so when you're a big budget company, you hire a consultant and they spend, 2 to 3 hours a day in these ad campaigns to optimize them. But when you're a small business, you can't afford to learn how to do it yourself, and you can't afford to hire a consultant to do it for you because you don't have enough budget. And so you're stuck and you think it's for somebody else. AdWords is for the big guys. I don't want to compete with the big guys. But the reality is there's an awful lot of search that's available, that's high quality, that can drive great leads. as long as you get someone to manage it using the tools that are available today. And that's what it is. The tools that sit in the middle of an ad campaign and Google's pay more, pay more, pay more. Ad campaign is buy less, or pay less, pay less, pay less. And these tools sit in there and make the arbitrage between the two and help the agencies make sure that when they have small business customers, they can deliver real returns on ads. So my position is Google Ads delivers high quality traffic. We've never seen anything like it in terms of how specific you can target and how specific you can, buy people while they're in market. They're engaged, right? On the maps, in search, and all the Google properties. But there needs to be somebody in the middle who can figure it out on how to use the tools that can keep those ad spends down properly so that they're getting real value. And that's what we work with people like yourself to say, here's a tool set, Frank. Now go find some customers and go help them get a higher return on ad spend, because they used to pay the yellow pages. They're buying ads and billboards. They used to do flyer drop-offs, and those things aren't working anymore.
Yeah, we're working on. So you leverage the AI technology to get that done, right?
That's right. But it still requires people in the middle to make sure that it's on track. Like, it still requires an agency to make sure, well, is their social media working together? Like, they're not standalone things. I like to call it your digital marketing footprint. And it's like these businesses now have to have a Google My Business listing, and it's getting more and more traffic and powering maps. And how are they getting into Waze, and what's going on over here? Help, and what's going on in social media with Facebook, and should I be in TikTok? I mean, once upon a time, it was call the newspaper, tell them you're having a shoe sale, and you got leads, you got customers, right? Yeah. That was the amount of work that a buyer had to spend. Now it's like, I need help.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because it all works together. And I mentioned this a lot on the show, how it all works together. Listings, your Google My Business page optimization, your pay-per-click ads, et cetera, et cetera. You'll have to have a cohesive thing there for it to work properly. So, yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Right.
It's amazing.
And we came from a world where if you the pizza guy in Philly, like we talked about, I mean, you were spending $1,500 to $3,000 to $10,000 a month with the yellow pages to get that same traffic. And now you can spend, under $1,000 a month and probably get a better return than we were getting before. But we had to do it. If you were a plumber, you had to be in the yellow pages. Well, now if you're a plumber, it's like, go get yourself some help and get into Google, because that's where it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's that's the beauty of this thing. Is we're dealing with small budgets here. We just take a bite out of the big guys, if you will. So that's an important thing.
And you don't have to spend, like, you can run a comfortable small business overall digital marketing strategy, for $750 to $1,500, and most small businesses can afford that because they happen so fast. You get results so fast. And the lifetime value of some of these customers, not just the original sale, but the lifetime value makes total sense. Go find a digital marketing assistant like yourself, right? Who's going to guide you through where the real opportunities are, and go focus on training your staff to make sure that those people come back to your pizza shop because the experience was great. You're going to get a far greater return, right?
Yeah. Pizza, that's a good example. Pizza places, nail salons, those are all would benefit from something like this, correct?
All of them. Like, the reality is, you get started, you pay attention, you get some advice from your consulting partner to say, how much room is there? Start small and grow based on your own results. Like, that's the real thing. You don't have to shoot a TV commercial to get in the game, right? You can get in the game real fast.
I got you.
And you can adjust up or down based on what's happening. Gee, you know what, Frank, you're doing too good a job. I can't keep up with the orders. I need to ratchet it back a little bit. Well, no problem. Give me a reference letter and I'll ratchet you down.
And that's what we all shoot for as marketers. We want that call.
Right.
We want
Right.
that call. We want that call to tell people, hey, can you calm down? I can't use all these leads. I like that.
And that's a reality of when you combine all these strategic things together. Some social, get your listing so that you're hoping to get some free traffic from Google, which Google hates, by the way, but they still have no choice but to give. But you got to be really accurate and concise to do it. And that's what listings does for you. Get some posts and some reviews out there so that Google knows, hey, this is a real business and they're active. And I've been verified by a third party, which is what a review does. And so there's hope that you can move up those ranks for both maps and the ads in maps and organic search. But backfill it with some paid search so Google knows you're serious.
Exactly. Hey guys, I hope you guys are enjoying this topic this week. I hope you guys, and more importantly, I hope you guys are implementing everything that we talk about each and every week because it's very important for your business. Also, don't forget to subscribe to whatever app you listen to on this because that's where you won't miss any updates on any episodes that we have. Also want to remind you, if you want to ensure that your digital marketing presence is on point, if you want to make sure that there are no errors happening when someone actually is looking for your business, that way people can find you exactly when they need you, go to my website, lbmsllc.com. Go to on the home page and where it says Online Presence Report. Click on that. You will have your own personalized online presence report. It's free of charge. It's going to tell you exactly how you're appearing online. This is a gold mine that I'm giving you for free. And I want all of my listeners to take advantage of that. So without further ado, I'm going to bring you right back to the show. So out of curiosity, I get this question asked of me a lot. What is the difference between display ads and say search ads in a Google campaign?
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's I guess the difference is what your intention is. So if your intention is awareness, so let's say nobody had heard of pizza, right? Well, they're not going to search for it because they don't have the words for it. They can't describe it. My best example of that is maybe dating myself, but I remember going into a sporting goods store and seeing a display or GoPro cameras. Remember what those were?
Yeah.
Right? You'd stick them on your, right. And I had no idea that camera technology had been moved to like the X Games. And so they had to have a display in a sporting goods store, right? A booth. Here's what it is, and here's what it does, and here's a video. And that made me aware. Now, I didn't buy that camera the first time I saw it. Searched, what else could I possibly buy one of those cameras? So these two things can work in conjunction with each other. Like it's like get them engaged and then make sure when they're trying to buy, you're there in search. So awareness and display and capture them at the last mile, or what they call the 0 moment of truth, with a search campaign. Because if they find your competitors, you might have paid to turn them on and then lost them. Right? Because somebody else picked them off in the click stream in search. So I think there's an opportunity for these things to work together, but it's based on your intention. A good example is if you're a hospitality service provider. So let's go back to that pizza shop example, because we all like pizza.
Yeah, who doesn't, right?
Right. I can guarantee you that almost all pizza shop restaurants that are out there are going to have a special promotion. Maybe it's half price pasta night or half price pizza night or whatever. But you never search for those, right? Like you don't search for an event because you don't know the event exists.
Exactly.
If Billy Joel's coming to town, I'm not searching for Billy Joel because, you got to tell me, hey, he's coming to play the Gardens or he's coming to play wherever, right? And that's awareness. It's an event. So in both of those cases, big or small, you have to capture my attention. If I'm driving home from work and I'm on the turnpike, which I think you guys are prone to do, and an ad comes on my phone checking out, Waze or whatever it is, which is my directions app. Right. And it says, hey, it's half price pie night at Paul's Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I might just hop on the blower and call my wife and say, what do you think?
Yeah. Hey, why don't you order something? Yeah.
Right. And I'll swing by and pick it up. That's awareness. Yep. That's display. So display can work for big businesses. Hey, camera called a GoPro, but it can work for, why don't I try and put bums in chairs or sell more pizzas or do all of these things with my sale, my discount, my promotion, an event. So display is those are the different things. Now, it's the same thing with Facebook. Like Facebook turns people on, but Facebook doesn't close them off as well as an ad engine as Google does, which is why Google commands, just a little over double the digital advertising that Facebook does, because it captures someone when they're at the end of the buy cycle. So does that kind of explain things?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge, I do like Facebook ads as well, but I'm a huge advocate of Google ads because it's all about search intent. It's about an intent to buy. If someone is searching for something, they are looking for either the information about it or to buy something. So it's about tying that keyword. Whereas, Facebook and LinkedIn and all these other, social platforms is like, you want to have a pattern interrupt or something to get them. Oh, wait a minute. This is something that seems interesting. Let me get it. So,
and I do also find, Frank, that I'm a little suspicious sometimes in campaigns in the social media platforms, particularly on mobile, how many of the clicks are by mistake. Like it's pretty, I oftentimes find myself trying to click on this and actually ended up clicking on that. And now I'm in
something else. Yeah.
Right. And so if you don't have a consultant helping you, looking at it saying, we got to pay attention to the time on site, because that's going to help us decide budget, right? That's just stuff that the pizza guy wants to train his staff, make a better customer experience, and have a great product. Right. They don't have time to figure out where these ghost clicks or straight like that's just outside of where they can see a return.
Yeah. This is. Yep. See, I love it because my audience listens to me say this a lot, but listening to someone else, I love it because they see that this is the way to rock and roll. And just like you, I always target there's a smaller business. That's how you and I partnered up, because we like to hit the smaller budget, so we can change some lives over there, because we're, not everyone can afford, $2,000 a month on ad spend or whatever. Not everyone can do that. So that's a good thing. So tell me something.
One of the things that we learned, one of the things that we learned right now, coming out of, or who knows what, this pandemic thing, is when they shut down the small businesses, we lost something as people, we lost something as communities, and we recognize that, right? And so right now, I think a consumer is driven by two things, and ironically, it's not price, right? I think convenience trumps everything. Right. And then I think emotional or sentimentality is maybe something I go to my restaurant because I know the guy. I'm not checking to see if his pizza is $1 more than the other guy. He's my guy. Right. And so I want to support him, but it's vulnerable if I can't find them. Like we go to Walmart of the world because we tell ourselves it's because of price. But I think the reality is it's because everything is there. I know it's there. It's convenience. Right. And so local retailers are getting squeezed out. They might have a much better experience. They might be able to actually help you make a decision. Walmart is come on in, make your own decision. All these big box guys are like, there's no customer service. Customer service is when you want to return something, and that's about it.
Right.
And so, but there's so many small businesses that are trying to bring in niche products, that are trying to bring in new things, that are trying to spend the time to help educate you or hospitality experience. And that's where our kids work. Our kids aren't working at Walmart. They're working at Paul's Pizza. And that's where when Paul makes money, he's sponsoring a local baseball team, right? When Paul makes money, he's building an addition onto his house or maybe opening a new restaurant. And that's all the stuff that occurs in our local economies. And I think coming out of this whole COVID thing, the consumer is more willing to support a local business today than ever before.
That's right.
But that business has to get easy to find and deal with.
Yeah.
Right. So it's an interesting time. Like there's a huge opportunity businesses that have survived and the new ones that are going to emerge. But they got to be aware that they have to give convenience. And there's nothing more convenient or inconvenient than showing up and that business was closed because the business didn't tell the internet properly. And now I'm not real thrilled. So I'm going to, Domino's because I know it's open.
I know it's open. Yeah. It's funny. I got a funny story to say about that. Before the pandemic, I used to religiously go to the Starbucks that's, like on the way to the office, from my house to the office. Always used to go to that one. Now, after the pandemic, I remember when I was still in the pandemic, actually, but after they opened everything up, shutdown was over, I stopped going to that, even if it's more convenient to go to the Starbucks, because the Starbucks is a drive-through. This guy, Frappy Joe's or whatever it's called, I don't even know the name of it, but I always used to see it, and I saw it. I liked the storefront. I liked everything. The only reason why I didn't go there before is because I had to get out of my car, if it's raining, it was uncomfortable, right, whatever, instead of being in the instead of going to Starbucks. But now I got to tell you, after everything opened up again, I have not been back to that Starbucks because I want to support the local businesses. And I think a lot of people are doing the same thing.
Right. And I think there's a huge opportunity for local retailers to recognize that, Starbucks was the reason people went to Starbucks. Yes, it was a higher quality product than maybe Dunkin's at the time or whatever, but they were quick to adopt an app and they were quick to adopt a loyalty program. And it was kind of like, I can just scan this thing and go they made it easy, convenience. Yeah. Right? It was harder to get a cup of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts than it was at Starbucks. And arguably the Starbucks product was better, although it was twice the price, if not more.
Yeah.
And so think about what the consumer is going to pull Frappy Joe's into.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That consumer is going to pull Frappy Joe's into, well, where's your loyalty program? And where's your app? And how can I pre-order so I'm not standing in line? And Frappy Joe's doesn't have a clue how to do that. But now there's people who can help him, right? And there's applications that can actually make it affordable for him to be able to do it. And Frappy Joe's, mark my words, will compete head-to-head with Starbucks forevermore.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I believe that. I think he's got to take advantage of this because he's gained me as a customer. I mean, I've always was curious about it, but, I'm sure other people did the same thing. So, that's why I do what I do, to be honest with you, Scott. I do this because I like to help out the Frappy Joes of the world. So if I say that, I should have practiced what I preach. That's why I started buying from them.
Yeah, right. But it's tricky, Frank, because even in your like convenience is a big pull.
Convenience
you find
big.
yourself emotionally am committed to this, but not if it's a pain in the neck.
Right. And I got to tell you, the other day, full disclosure, I was really thinking about it because it was pouring rain, Scott. And I said, do I really want to get out of this car? How badly do I want this coffee? And
see what I mean?
but I did.
Right.
I had a big enough umbrella. I said, nope, I got to do this.
Yeah.
And
the day will come where you can order your whatever it is, your macchiato from Frappy Joe's, and they will understand that having a person bring it to your car is as convenient or more convenient than going through a drive-through.
Yes.
If you can order it on your way in, 3 minutes ahead and pull up, and there's a young student or whoever it is that brings that coffee right to your car, right? You have outplayed Starbucks.
Yep. That is true. I'm going to bring that idea down. But there you
go. There's your next consulting gig.
In a nutshell, though, this is what we're talking about here. We're talking about helping the smaller business use the power of Google at a fraction of the cost that Google wants you to spend. And that's the message of today's episode, guys. We can do that. I have the technology to do it, with Scott's help, of course, to help you the smaller consumer really take a piece out of the pie. If you, let's say you're a law firm and you're a one-man show, you're a solo practitioner. Of course, you can't take business from the bigger law firms that have 10 lawyers. No way. You can't do it. But if you use the power of the internet with smaller budgets strategically, and you align yourself with myself, Scott, or any other smart digital marketer out there, they will show you the pathway of doing it. Am I correct, Scott?
Absolutely. And it happens almost immediately.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
Right. It's get in the game, get some quality traffic, improve on conversions, right? Rely on your consulting allies to help you present yourself in a way that, even though you are the one-off lawyer, smaller looking, provided you're not Bill Murray, you can pick off, some of these people that are in market looking for bigger guys, but you can't outspend the bigger guy.
Yeah,
but you can outmaneuver them.
You can outmaneuver them. Yep, and that's what Frappy Joe's is going to do. Thanks for that idea. I'm going to pitch that to him.
We're just going to have a Frappy Joe's podcast going forward.
But no, that's a great idea, and yes, out of the box thinking that you need. And any small business out there who needs that, just give us a call. You know how to get a hold of us. 888-416-7752. Let us get you onto Google. You can see how affordable it really is, and how what Scott's talking about can actually help your entity explode. And well, not explode, but at least take a big chunk bite out of the bigger markets, and you'll start, just have being on the same playing field at least. How about that? I think that's what this is all about. You want anything to add to that, Scott?
I just want to express my gratitude to you, Frank, for giving me a microphone and an opportunity to talk to some of the small businesses out there. And I do appreciate the work that you do with us and the customers that we work with together. And I just want to say thanks.
Hey man, you're welcome. I mean, you've got a killer product, and I think the world needs to know about it. I mean, there's no longer the best kept secret. So let's get out there, help as many small businesses as we can. I think that's about it for this episode. I think I'm going to bid farewell to this episode. I'm going to bid farewell to Scott. Scott's a very busy man. I don't want to overextend my welcome here, his invitation. I know he's got to get to stuff here. So I'm going to bid farewell to this episode. I will see you guys next week. Take care and bye for now. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. Don't forget, any links that were mentioned during the broadcast will be available to you in the show notes, so be sure to grab them while you have the chance. Incidentally, if you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss on the show, be sure to send an email to the email provided in the show notes, or click the Contact Us link and let us know what topic you would like us to help you with, and we'll be sure to add it to our schedule. If you would like for Frank and his team to look at your digital marketing presence and give you a free evaluation, simply click the Request a Free Consultation link in the show notes to get a hold of them. That being said, until our next episode, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.